Congratulations. You got AIDS. Sacrifice your meat for them. Not even gonna lie, I'm already feeling a type of way. I recorded this previously, being an idiot. I'd have made the background too loud, so we're gonna have to run it again. So let's get straight into the point. I get more hoes than you, right? One of the main arguments had between men. Matter of fact, it's one of the most historical arguments. I believe that niggas have been having this type of argument since the beginning of time. Since the beginning, during the caveman era, it's always been about women. Men competed for that. It's always been a competition. So it's more so deeply ingrained into our system, right? But I want to get more into that because a lot of times people will flex that they get hoes and they pull and you don't, and they try to make you feel bad for not pulling hoes. So as an individual that doesn't have hoes, I really wanted to get more into the topic and really see, like, what's the real meaning behind this, right? And usually how the debate starts is like when two dudes or like a friend group gets into an argument and it starts off as like,
I look better than you.
You feel me? Then they arguing about looks.
I look way better and I get more hoes. Man, you do not get more hoes than me.
And that's the ultimate ape brain moment, man. It triggers something, right? So now they go onto the phone, they pulling it up.
I got her, I clap her, I clap her.
And they're like,
you did not crack.
And now it's like a point proven on who gets more hoes and who gets play and who doesn't. And really, a lot of these arguments are really funny, and it's typical among male friend groups, right? It's a part of the process. And I'm not talking about that specifically. More so people who make fun of you for either being a virgin or like not having a girlfriend yet, and then they try to flex on you by saying you don't get any hoes. That's the part where we start to enter lame territory. You don't have to rush to get a girlfriend. Like, you don't have to do it because they told you to, because as a man you should have this many bodies by this age, making 7 figures. All of these standards that people are, trying to live by. So today we are going to be going over 6 reasons why you should not feel bad about not being a chick magnet, and why you should not feel bad if somebody tries to flex on you that they get more hoes or more play. So reason number 1 is because it more so falls into objectification of a human being. And what I mean by that is, the thing with this that I notice is that guys will bring up the fact that they have hoes like some type of badge of honor, like a Pokemon collection, right? But the issue with that is that they don't really work like that. It's not like collectibles, money, cars, clothes, jewelry. All of these are commonly bragged about items, but when it comes to girls, it gets a little bit tricky because unlike other items, humans have emotions, feelings, thoughts, free will, and unlike the items that don't have those things. So they often get lumped into the same category, but it's really more so, how do you own a hoe? How do you, do you have their complete loyalty? Because you can't really fully control another human being. Not even pimps, man. I'm sure they're probably stealing a little bit of money and tucking it under their bra to the side, dude. Like, telling you, dog. But what's to say they don't just leave you for another guy that's either richer, has more emotion, and then leave for another guy, then for another guy, and for another, because they're hoes. That's what they do. So I don't know why they flex so much into that. Like Future said, they're for the streets. And I feel the thing with hoe and thought culture is that there is no loyalty. It's mainly just what they can gain, which could be status or the guy's money or whatever it may be. And the funny part about this sometimes is that the guy will get attached to the hoe, which is even funnier because you act like you just this big guy that's pulling everybody, and you mess around and catch feelings. And it's like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, did you forget? Like, they're for the streets, dog. Travis Hunter type beat. That's the first reason. Reason number 2 is that it comes from a need of validation or proving masculinity. Now, what I mean by that is, a lot of the times when they're flexing or bringing it up excessively, it's likely for either validation or it's tied to their self-worth, and it's tied around a number or a body count to prove a point. And with these discussions, oftentimes, who's the main audience, right? Men bragging to other men. Hey, yo. So men either prove that they're valuable, and men will often bring this up and flex this either for an ego boost or because they believe that they earn cool points by doing this, or maybe to prove their own status into whatever hierarchy it is, how the whole social thing goes. But the whole thing with that is when you center your personality around validation and getting hoes, and when you make that your character, a lot of times you'll never be satisfied, or it never stops, because then you're going to want more and more. Like, you get one girl, then you might want multiple girls, and then when you get multiple girls, You might want even prettier girls. And then now everybody has to know about it. The validation is really never ending. Lust is never satisfied. Like a common example, Proverbs 27:20. And for this example, I'm going to use the NIV. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. And that can mean a lot of things. That the eyes never stop seeing, ears never stop hearing. It's a never-ending cycle. You never just get one and just be happy when you make that a part of your character. It's even more and more and more and more. I got to get this bad one, this bad one, this bad one. And it's often like a new collectible or how they'll treat it, because it's like you always want to get the newest, the biggest, the baddest, and the best thing. It's like you constantly have to be up to date. And it doesn't help that a lot of the times multiple partners is associated with masculinity, like either what type of car you drive, how much money you make, and how many women you're sleeping with, right? And the thing with that is people often let that become their personality, which revolves around validation, meaning your character revolves around others, which can be pretty shallow, which doesn't show any strength, right? Yes, people do it to flex, and it was often funny at times to, brag about women, but the main important thing is to not center your entire purpose around that alone. Because if you do that, right, for example, let's say what happens when you get older and your looks start to fade, or if girls start rejecting you and they're not interested in you anymore, or maybe you might want to start taking relationships serious and maybe get married or have kids. You might want to start settling down later on in life, which is why it's better to wait till marriage, put your meat away, focus on your purpose, right? So it's best to work on your inside character and not outside of validation, right? A good example for this one is Matthew 23:25 and 26, where Jesus yells at the Pharisees and tells them like, hey, woe to you. You're cleaning the outside of the cup, but you're not even cleaning the inside of the cup. You know what I mean? Clean the inside, then you'll clean the outside. You just did the outside to make it look nice, but the cup is still dirty. A lot of that can apply to your character. That's why I really like these parables, because they can mean so many things at the same time. The whole time, the inside of your character, zero character development, zero priorities, zero whatever it is you're trying to work on, but because you think, you get a woman, that's it. Hate to break it to you, buddy, but no, it ain't. And so with that, the question really becomes, right, if a man has nothing to prove to other men, would getting hoes still even matter, right? And a lot would say yes, but it might not be to the same extent, when it comes to flexing, which is what literally every single rapper does. And so now we're on reason 3, which is security versus insecurity. It's all right to, maybe bring it up every now and then, like I said, but if you notice that a person is constantly bringing this up to use as a status symbol or to kind of make it seem like they're above you or doing better than you in life because they're pulling hoes, then this is the part where we should really take a look at, right? Because if a person's really doing good in life, getting motion, getting girls and doing all of this, why would they feel the need to rub it in somebody's face constantly? You know what I mean? They wouldn't. Like Lil Wayne, real G's move in silence like lasagna. I might edit that out. But anyway, so the whole thing is with reason number 3 here, if somebody is secure, they would not have to brag or flex or show off. But with insecurity, one thing that I notice is that the whole world has to know they cannot enjoy the moment to themselves. They need to prove something. One of the main telltale signs is a secure person does not care, right? If they getting girls or whatever type of success or achievements, you would not know unless you asked them, or maybe just happen to find out, likely on accident. So let's further break down the differences, right? Let's start with secure. Doesn't have a need to prove anything. It could be likely because internally, you already feel that you succeeded, or I've already made it, or already won, or whatever type of achievement that you made. You're already happy and content with where you're at. But with insecure, it's more so they have to prove, show receipts, and flex to let you know that they're superior and that they have hoes, clothes, cars, money, jewelry, etc. And you don't, right? That's the main narrative. They have it, you don't. I'm better, you're not. That's the comparison. And if you're starting to get this vibe often, probably something that you should really start looking out for, right? Because they have to be above and you have to be below for them to feel good about themselves, likely. I mean, it's pretty sad now that we really think about it. But I mean, hey, so it's like they feel the need to measure against something, right? Maybe because they feel like they're nothing by themselves, or it gives some comfort when they're around others, or maybe that it stems from loneliness. The more we peel back the layers behind this, we start to likely see that it might not even be about girls at all. It could be likely the principle of the whole entire thing, right? All right, so back to secure again. For example, when secure, it's likely no need to show evidence, doesn't care, maybe the topic doesn't interest them, or they don't view it as important or find it unnecessary or not a big deal to talk about it, and they don't have to measure or show superiority. They likely know that the flexing game is pointless. Once you already are hip to the game, the tricks won't affect you anymore. You can't fall for the trap once you know it. And once you know it, the genjutsu won't work anymore because you know how to counter it, right? That's how the security can start. Like another thing, they don't have to measure to show superiority. They likely know that. And a lot of the times, like being like secure can come from learning and growth. Like a lot of individuals was probably insecure at one point and then had to learn and grow to become more secure within themselves. And like you were at your highest, and then once you hit the lows and hitting rock bottom, then that's how you know like who's really there for you and who's your friends and who's there and who isn't. Because like if you're in an environment that involves flexing and social status, and if it's built around that, it's often very shallow. There's likely no real friends. Like once you lose all your status or your clothes and cars, like once you like hit like a rough moment in life, all of a sudden you're not cool anymore. But once you hit like the lows of the lows, that's like where character builds, and then that's how you know like who was truly there for you, who truly wasn't there, and things like that. And then once you start to realize that it's all just bullcrap, you won't fall for the game anymore, then you won't chase, right? So that's why it's best not to build your character on something that can be gone at any time, but it's better to have like a firm foundation in Christ. Because when you're building yourself on a firm foundation, it can also be a good cause of being secure within yourself, right? And being stable, like a rock or like a mountain, unmoving. So when you have a good foundation, it won't shake or crumble under pressure, kind of like the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf and stuff like that. I'm gonna blow your house down. Then that one pig had like that house made out of bricks. That's what you want to be. Like you want to be the brick. You know what I mean? So like whether if you get one or don't, you're still you regardless. And that's what like a lot of people will respect more: consistency, not a facade. Like once you learn that, it gets better. When you have that foundation, you're now less likely to brag, flex. And it's likely because, like with a person that's already like super confident, they probably already believe that in their mind they're already right. Even if they're not right, it's already made up. But you know how it goes. Like you have to believe it in order for your reality to like reflect it, all of that. And I don't know, however they say it. But it's just like my whole thing is, if a person truly was like that and truly had motion, they wouldn't feel a need to prove it. They wouldn't feel a need to flex. They wouldn't feel a need. They would just be better. Actions speak louder than words. Like for example, like Michael Jordan, still commonly argued who's better, LeBron or Jordan, whatever. We just gonna go with Jordan, right? You know how like Jordan is the best basketball player of all time, right? Is Jordan gonna call your phone and prove to you and show his stats why he's better? No, he's just better. He doesn't need to prove it. The stats already show it. It's already in the history. It's just what it is. They're better. So it's like when somebody's already accomplished something, the proof is in the pudding. They don't need to say it. The evidence backs itself up, which is basically what it is. Actions speak louder than words, as we all know. Because with insecure people, they would have to prove that it's true, or to them it doesn't count. So they believe that they have to show them, or it isn't real and it won't matter. Like enjoy the moment by yourself. You know what I mean? Not everybody need to be there. Not everybody gonna be with you on your journey through life. People come and go. It's just a part of life. So a quick summary: secure doesn't have to prove or compare or measure up with them. The verdict stays the same regardless of others' opinions. Insecure has to prove and show receipts to establish the narrative socially. They will compare and size up by showing where they stand, by showing where you stand and where they stand. And without a comparison, there's nothing to measure. And like without an objective topic, it all becomes void and it doesn't matter. So with insecure, it's like I'm the greatest, I'm
Better, you're not. I have more. more, you see this, you see this, you see this.
But like when it's secure, it's like, you feel me, like I'm X, Y, and Z, and then that's just it. Whether if you believe it or not, it's just it is what it is. Just being accepting of whether if they believe you or whether if they don't. You can't really control everybody's opinion. So, but it's like proving yourself is fine unless you have to use it against others to boost yourself. That's when it's like, okay, no. Because there are going to be times in life where you're going to have to back up your claim and show your credentials. But in this situation, it ain't. It's more so lame. So I think the overall takeaway with secure and being insecure, being comfortable with what is true even when it isn't recognized or seen by others. And with insecurity, when recognition is needed to prove that it's true. What it is like how you handle it when nobody's around. Because when you're alone, that's who you truly are. And since insecurity comes with that sense of validation and the need to prove, it could also be likely that it stems from feeling that you're not enough, or maybe a low sense of self-worth, which could lead to maybe like some bad childhood experiences. But I don't know too much about that. I'm not a therapist, right? But yeah, so when it comes to flexing of the HUDs, it can also come from a point of needing to feel important or proving your importance, right? Reason number 4 of why you don't have to get a girlfriend because other people are rubbing it in, right? Or whatever this list is. Reason number 4, overfixation becomes weird. Another thing to look out for is oftentimes it's a joke and it's cool, but the main thing to look out for is if somebody is constantly bringing it up. Like you will never hear the end of it ever. And when that happens, it's less about you and more about them, because this is a likely just internal projection. Because now it becomes kind of gay, because it's like, why are you worried about what another man is doing intimately with other women? Why are you so worried about that? Why are you worried about where another dude's meat goes? So like you really got to question that. And it's like, where's your head at, dude? Like, hey, yo. And it goes back to the previous point of they're really getting girls and money and having motion like they claim. They wouldn't be worried about you, dude. They wouldn't be worried about what you're doing at all, because it doesn't affect them at all. They're already winning. So it's like when they try to put you down, you just got to realize like it's something personal with them, not you. It's not your fault. You know what I mean? Reason number 5. One of the most important reasons, right? It is okay to be a virgin and to not fit in, right? This is one of the most important things on this list that I feel isn't talked about enough. Because I believe this one is very important and should be talked about a lot more. It's okay to be single. It is okay to be a virgin. You do not have to be this image that is often projected among men and stuff like that. Do not let other men persuade you or rush you into doing something with your meat if you're not ready or if you're not at that stage of life yet. It is your body. They shouldn't even care. You do not have to participate in this rat race to get laid. Do not let anyone peer pressure you. Okay, I understand wanting to fit in and to be cool, right? And truth be told, it sucks to be made fun of and be clowned by the group and to be the butt of every joke. And it sucks to feel lesser than, or to feel without, or to be the lame one, right? Those feelings hurt. I understand it all too well, because you must realize, even though those feelings do hurt and it sucks to be clowned on for something that's not even your fault, you still cannot let them pressure you into making a choice that only you will have to deal with, right? You have to understand, if you allow them to influence you into making a decision because they made fun of you, and then you go and do it because you feel the pressure, especially when you're a grown man. And then when you do that, you basically just allowed them to have control over you. And now you're seeking their validation and allowing them to control you. Because once you try to chase, you devalue yourself. And you're basically saying, you can convince me to do it if you pressure and bully me enough. I will fold, right? That's basically what you signal off. Because then you know how friends will be like, do it. Come on, man. Stop being flipping lame, dude. Come on, dude. Stop being such a wuss. You know what I mean? And it's like, fine, I'll do it. You know how that goes in movies, right? Don't be that guy, because now they know you can be persuaded. So they'll keep going, right? It's like sharks can smell blood in the water. You know what I mean? Weakness can be sensed. And that leads back to our point of building a firm foundation internally, being that rock, being a mountain, and being unwavering, right? So even though it sucks to be clowned on, you cannot fold. At the end of the day, you're a man. You have to stand on your own principles. You can't just be persuaded by everyone in anything. A lot of that requires standing true to yourself, even when it costs everything socially, and even when it costs you being made fun of, or maybe your dignity and things like that, especially when you're trying to follow Christ and things like that, right? But that's how strength is built, staying true and staying consistent, even when it doesn't benefit you, even when you might look like a loser doing it. That's one of the most important things. So it sucks to be made fun of and clowned. It's not fun, but even then, you still have to stay true to yourself. Because if you lose that, you lose everything. And you lose yourself. And you can't lose that. Reason number 6. You are responsible for your own choices. All of these are important, but this one is very important. And that is because whether they pressure you or not into either pulling girls or to doing whatever you don't want to do or whatever, right? When it comes to them pressuring you into doing something that you might not want to do, you're going to have to say no. You're going to have some backbone. You're going to have to drop your nuts eventually, right? Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own choices, whether it's influenced by others or by yourself, right? At the end of the day, if they convince you to do something stupid and you hurt yourself because of it, well, guess what? It's still your fault in a way because you chose to listen to them, right? So assuming that you have a functioning mind and that you're able-bodied and that you're able to think for yourself, right? Assuming that you're capable of doing all of that, you are capable of still having free will and you are capable of still making your own choices. You have to understand that because they will peer pressure you into doing some stupid stuff. And then once you get yourself in a jam, where they at? Gone, right? And now you're the only one left to deal with that. Now you have to clean up the mess that you allow them to influence you into making. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be the buster, right? And so the main example, right, with this argument is that I'm going to use is, right, let's say, right, getting hoes. They're clowning you. They're calling you a lame. They're calling you a grown man that's still a virgin that still ain't get laid yet, right? And you're tired of it, right? So now you're just thinking, right? You just wanted to all be over. You're just like, let me go ahead and get me some buns so I can get these dudes to shut up, right? So I can prove this point, that I can prove that I am like that, so they can put respect on my name, right? It's probably what a lot of people are thinking. So boom, you do your thing, you find a girl, you doing your thing, and then you probably thinking like, yeah, the group chat gonna love this. Watch this. Which, if so, you already failed, because why are you thinking about other men, right? So boom, you doing your thing, bada bing, bada boom. You show them whatever, and then it's like,
Yeah, but it's like, she wasn't even that bad, though.
you feel what I'm saying? Like, what? Sacrifice your meat for them just to still say it's not good enough. That's why, one, you shouldn't do it. Another example is, right, you do your thing, the girl texts you back, boom. Hey, I'm pregnant. Congratulations, right? Now, you know what I mean? You're going to be a dad. And now you're probably thinking, hey, I'm too young to be a dad. I barely started my life yet. I'm not able to take care of another. You know what I mean? But you have to. Now it's a part of your responsibility. Bro. It's a part of that now. So now, whatever you do, it don't matter because you have to look out for your son, right? And now, guess what? Those same dudes are laughing at you.
Hey, man, this dude ain't got a girl pregnant, man. His pull-out game whack.
You know what I mean? And now they clowning you with a group chat, you know? And then there you go, right? For the same people that you tried to prove a point to and to appease them. Now, 18 years of your life is now in a different direction because now you have a kid and now you've altered the course of your life, right? Worst case scenario, you might get put on child support and that's 18 years of money gone because you felt pressured because of what other men were talking about and you wanted to prove yourself to the group standards, right? Don't do that. Oh, well, I'm gonna wear a condom. Okay, what if it rips? Oh, well, I'm gonna get an abortion. Congratulations, you killed your child. And then a lot of people are gonna make this argument of just like, oh, well, it technically wasn't alive yet. It's alive. That's why, people call their seed, their life force and stuff like that. Buddy, you were alive when you were swimming in your dad's sack. Okay, buddy, you were there. Don't be a loser and spawn kill. Own up to it, dog. You never know, man. That's that. I'm stuttering like crazy. That could have been the next millionaire that you didn't packed up. Son could have got you out the hood because you wanted to avoid accountability. You sat up there and killed this little nigga. That's crazy. And it's just one of the most hypocritical things because it's just like more so your parents could have did that to you, but they didn't. It was like pay it forward. You know what I mean? If you don't want to put them up for adoption, but either or. Example number 2, right? So now they making fun of you. They clowning you back to the group chats. So Scenario number 2. I meet with this young lady or whatever. Gonna go ahead and get it cracking so I can get these dudes to shut up and get them off my back so I can prove that I am like that. So you do your thing, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. You wake up the next morning, you're immediately pillow talking to your boys. I done did it, da-da-da-da-da. Ain't no way, he finally did it. Hey, I knew you had it in you, right? There you go, that little temporary male validation, right? That gives you that little dopamine boost from other men in a group chat giving you some praise as if their opinion ever mattered. So you feeling good, you finna get up, go to the bathroom, you feel me? You're gonna go and brush your teeth and whatever, but then you have to go pee, right? So you go ahead, go pee, do your usual morning pee routine, but then you realize the pee starts to burn. You know, it feels like hot sauce. It's coming out of your wee-wee, and then you're looking down, you're itching, and it's looking all bumpy. Congratulations, you got AIDS. Good job, buddy. You were so quick to get into some buns. You'd have messed around and got burnt. And guess what? Where's your friends going to be at now? Where's the same people that's going to be clowning you? Where are they going to be at? Now, they're going to be laughing at you.
Hey, man, you done got burnt, man. Oh, no, you can't come around me no more, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Now, that's sitting up there making fun of you, calling you Magic Johnson and all of that. And the whole time you did that just to prove a point to a whole bunch of other men. And now, guess what, right? Probably thinking, I'm just going to wear protection. Okay, well, maybe the protection was weak. Maybe it seeped through the cracks. It's not 100% accurate. You got to keep that in mind, right? But for this scenario, let's just say you got burnt, right? Worst case scenario, now you're stuck with that for the rest of your life. And now you're thinking back to the moment, like, why did I listen to them dudes? I should have just stayed true to myself. I shouldn't have let others pressure me. And now, guess what? You have to live with that consequence of either getting a girl pregnant or either getting burnt, maybe, or even the girl lying and saying that you assaulted her when really it was consensual. Either or. I mean, maybe the chick might be crazy and slashes your tires and threatens to cut your meat off. Either or, whatever type of situation you're getting yourself into, right? The whole time now, you got to deal with the consequences of your actions because you allowed somebody else to influence your decision making. Don't do that. Skip them. Do not worry about what they're talking about. They shouldn't even be worrying about your meat anyway. Why are they worrying about what you're doing? That don't even make sense. So do not listen to them because if any of the consequences happen, you have to deal with that. And the second that something bad happens, those same friends that was laughing at you, that was peer pressuring you, they gonna be gone. And that's when you realize they really don't care. So don't be in that situation, bro. Do not be in that situation because if you mess yourself up, that's your fault because you still have to free will and you allowed a whole bunch of other men to tell you what to do. Are they your dad? No. And you wanna know how backwards this is, right? It's because often the narrative of like being a virgin is considered being a loser or whatever, right? But the whole time, a lot of these dudes are bums, sleeping on a girl couch, driving a girl car, eating a girl's food, no job, on the PS5, mooching off of her, the same beat up wife beater in baggy basketball shorts, no cut, no lineup, on the game all day. And these people will be the same ones making fun of you because you ain't getting no play. Buddy, you got bigger fish to fry. You got other things that you got to worry about, broski. But it'll be them same bums that'll sit around and clowning you because they happen to slide in some buns and you didn't. Bro, you need a job. Number one, let's focus on that. The only thing that they got going for themselves is that they probably laying pipe. That's it. Zero priorities. Pushing 30, may probably in their 30s, pushing 40. Reminiscing about the old days back in high school, still doing the same thing that they did 10, 15 years ago. Bro, do not let them peer pressure you because you did not have a girlfriend yet. Bro, I am a virgin. I'm finna be 20. I'm telling you, bro, the same person that probably got buns, still probably not even doing nothing important. Couch surfing, trying to use their girl food stamps. So it's like, bro, do not worry about what they doing. Being a virgin does not automatically make you a loser. It's about what you do. Are you working on yourself? Are you striving to improve? Are you striving to be better? Are you working a job? Are you trying to build money? Are you trying to work yourself toward a goal or a career path? Are you at least trying? These dudes wake up, hit the blunt, play the game. Didn't brush their teeth, didn't wash their face, with one sock on and the sock got holes in it. Bro, I'm telling you. And then be the same dudes. Do not let them bums clown you or make you feel a certain type of way because you didn't do something yet. Because this is a very common thing that happens way too often. Do not let them have no type of control over you. They need to worry about getting up out their parents' basement. So that's the main important topic, right? That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about. It really don't matter, right? When you look in the future, right, you're on your deathbed or whatever, and you're thinking back to your life, I highly doubt that any of this stuff would matter, that any of those niggas would matter. Because at the end of the day, when you're at the judgment throne and Jesus is asking you, why should I let you in? I guarantee you, you're not going to be thinking about them niggas language. You're not going to be thinking about those group of so-called friends, about cracking. All of that's going to be irrelevant. So focus on best what benefits you. And just a disclaimer, it's okay to joke around with your homies and your homeboys about girls, whatever. The discussion is going to pop up. That's fine. It is more so if they constantly feel the need to flex, if they constantly bring it up, if they constantly try to make you feel lower than because what you didn't do with your meat yet. When you start to see those red flags, then that's when you really need to realize, like, wait a dang minute. And then that's when you look at the video and see what's on the list that adds up. Then that's when you can step back and see and discern, okay, wait a minute, this is bum energy right now. So that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. Best case scenario, I recommend you just save yourself to marriage and get a real one, or just don't worry about it at all. I know everybody kind of complaining about this whole dating market. I'm chilling regardless. You feel what I'm saying? So it don't make me no difference. I'm just gonna be happy to get this flipping video out, and that's pretty much it. Long story short, man, focus on your purpose. Focus on your relationship with God, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Make sure you repent. Make sure you're improving physically, mentally, psychologically, and spiritually, and all of the above. You feel what I'm saying? Been plenty of times where I probably wanted to talk to a girl, but it's like, when you're like not really in the place you want to be. Girls are expensive. You know what I mean? They're gonna want their hair did, nails did. They love running up credit cards. Save yourself the headache. You feel me? Wait until you're in a place where you're stable and ready to do that. You know what I mean? Wait till you're ready. Don't rush into something. Don't rush yourself into a whole soul tie. You know what I mean? You just gotta kind of like go with the flow. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. It ain't the end of the world. Whatever you do, don't beat your meat though. That's a bad habit. Learn from me. You feel me? But that's mainly it. But yeah, that is my list of 6 reasons of why you shouldn't feel bad if people are making fun of you for not having HUDs. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Bean06. Hope you guys enjoy the content, and God bless you guys. I'm out.